Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. May I extend a very warm welcome to the Institute of Strategic Studies for your talk to us all. And also may I also warmly welcome you all, the audience, yet another event on this premises, just neighbors. These are two countries, two nations that have been tied by, in my office downstairs. You would discover for yourself that your country, Iran, I have personally lived in Iran for over 5 years and found oblivion. Millions of people crowd the streets of Tehran and its parks and gardens manicured. Pakistan has been very keen to play its conveying a message that we need to reduce these tensions. That we should. War, in fact, serves no one and solves no problems. In the same spirit, Mr. Ambassador, I would also like to say that for Pakistan, our relations with Saudi Arabia are also very important. Saudi Arabia has been a steady friend of Pakistan for decades. It is home to two holiest shrines which are held in deep esteem by the people of Pakistan, and millions of Pakistanis are gainfully employed there. And therefore we get concerned when tensions between Iran and Saudi Arabia go up. And once again, the leadership of Pakistan, representing the sentiment of our nation, has been repeatedly offering to help resolve issues and differences. It is not just an offer to help in the larger interest of Muslim Ummah. I think it is also an attempt by our leadership to convey our assessment that any outbreak of hostilities in the Gulf region would adverse all parties, all, A-L-L, and including Pakistan in the region. On the bilateral plane, show that no terrorist element crosses the border in either direction. And I think there are already instruments in place between the two nations to cooperate in that regard. There is also scope of economic and commercial cooperation between the two countries. However, the United States sanctions are an impediment to growth of these ties. I think we would need to find creative ways to increase bilateral cooperation. The Institute is pleased to offer its forum to you, Mr. Ambassador, as well as to all others in our Ambassadors Forum series, because we believe in interactive, positive, constructive dialogue, especially with our neighbors and with other countries that we think are close to our people. So with these words, I once again warmly welcome you to the Institute and look forward to hearing your
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Respected audience, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. I would like to thank His Excellency Mr. Eazaz Chowdhury, Honorable Chairman, Islamabad Strategic Studies Institute. Islamic Revolution of Iran, under leadership of a religious scholar, well known for his command in philosophy, mysticism, spirituality, and ethics, means Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini is rare occurrence which shines and glitters on the zenith of Islamic history. This revolution has vital role in awakening of Islamic Ummah, rendered wonderful effects on revival of Islamic world and in its interest and emotions on freedom and independence. This This revolution has not only penetrated into the hearts and lives of Islamic Ummah, rather attracted a number of enthusiasts from the deprived and oppressed segments of the world towards itself. The revolution eliminated all types of distinction on the basis of race and class and became harbinger of equality, human solidarity, and protection of human dignity and justice for all the creation of God without any distinction and superiority. Meanwhile, these days coincide with 72nd anniversary of friendly and close ties between Islamic Republic of Iran and Islamic Republic of Pakistan. The relations are based upon joint history, culture, and civilization. These ties are unique and peaceful with the potential to extend to other neighbors and regional countries. This relationship based upon sacrifices and efforts for coping with problems mean to bring peace among the friends. Iran and Pakistan are passing through an important time of their bilateral relationship. We have reached on a crucial moment where future of political power belongs to Asia. Iran and Pakistan are part of the most important strategic members of this emerging world. In the world, the wider our relations and more active our role, more effective and efficient they will be in shaping of future equations. We have common views on most of international and regional issues. The two countries enjoy a rich support of cultural, religious, and historical affinities and consider foreign occupation as source of many disasters. On the 72nd anniversary of establishment of relations between the two countries, we express our complete readiness for cooperation and support to Pakistan in achieving its development targets, just as we announced our support to Pakistan immediately after its independence in 1947. Islamic Republic of Iran attaches high value to its eastern neighbor, which has stood by it through thick and thin. Ladies and gentlemen, today, when I am here among you, our region recently witnessed one of the most brutal acts of terrorism. Around 40 days has passed since criminal assassination of the great commander of Islam, Martyr Qasim Soleimani, and the day went through criminal offense and state terrorism. We lost the most valiant, intelligent, and visionary commander, Lieutenant General Indir Qasim Soleimani, the great man who fought in his life so all of us live in a better and safer world. People of Iran and all those who seek independence and fighting against imperialism in the region are mourners over this great loss. Once again, United States has proved to everyone that it has no obligation and respect to international rules and laws. The same psychotic approach and contravention of international law which blatantly tried to attack on cultural heritage of Iran, the joint civilization and cultural heritage of humanity. Their crime was not only to attack on national sovereignty of Iraq and brutal and cowardly assassination of glorious commander of Iran, rather to target one of elements providing security in this geography subject to different conspiracies from Al-Qaeda to ISIS and Al-Nusra Front. The regional issues like narcotics, terrorism, and sectarianism has been exploited dexterously to undermine our peace and tranquility. We have to allocate our resources and wealth to remove these impediments rather than development and welfare. We have lost a large number of soldiers and innocent people in fight against narcotics. Our great political and economic sacrifices rendered to quell the extremist and terrorist outfits were compensated by imposing political and economic restrictions and putting us in grey lists by blaming for support of terrorism. In the world where our enemies are desperately looking to distract us from religious and Islamic identity to weaken our unity, we should vigilantly follow our Islamic priorities. The Islamic world should not allow that main subjects like Palestine be removed from working agenda of their conferences and meetings. Zionist regime and United States are desperately trying to write new agendas for the Islamic world. As recently we have witnessed the most despicable peace plan for Middle East called Deal of the Century. The countries of South Asia should endeavor for utilization of the great potentials and existing opportunities in the region to boost cooperation and overcome to the problems. Countries like Iran, Pakistan, Turkey, Russia, and China have the potential to form a new alliance for better future of the region. Ladies and gentlemen, in present times, cooperation is the basis of development and progress. Countries like Iran and Pakistan, by utilization of relative and absolute economic gains of one another, should remove any type of hurdles and problems in this regard. The two countries have the capability to become complementary to each other in the economic affairs of the two countries. Other fields of cooperation between Iran and Pakistan in the region are given below. 1. Organization of Cooperation of Islamic Countries, OIC. The most basic factor of the independence of Pakistan was Islam. That's why interaction with Islamic countries has been the priority in the foreign policy of Pakistan. As Islamic Republic of Iran also has been founded on principles of Islam, so Pakistan as an Islamic and neighboring country attains a special place in the foreign policy of Iran. In this connection, Iran and Pakistan have participated in most of OIC conferences. Unfortunately, due to the role of some countries, this organization has not been effective in addressing issues of the Islamic Ummah and taking positions in the support of Islamic cause. 2. Economic Coordination Organization, ECO. One of the most important cooperation between Iran and Pakistan in shape of regional pacts is ECO. In view of cooperation among important regional countries, ECO can play its role in their economic development. ECO provides an appropriate opportunity for Iran and Pakistan to coordinate their policies in line with economic growth and render necessary ground to facilitate economic activities and encourage investment and trade and remove transit hurdles between the two countries. 3. D8 Group. One of the ways to enhance cooperation between Iran and Pakistan has been the creation of common Islamic market. D8 Group of the developing Islamic countries, that is in Indonesia, Iran, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Turkey, Malaysia, and Egypt and Nigeria, is a regional forum for boosting of strong economic ties among the developing Islamic countries. To achieve this goal and preparing of appropriate ground for mobilization and effectiveness of the market, the forums like the 8 group of the Islamic countries can play a useful role. Trade and economic arrangements among 8 Islamic countries can be beneficial and they can benefit from experiences of each other. The 8 can provide a good opportunity for every member country, especially Iran and Pakistan. 4. Energy IP pipeline. In the first decade of the 21st century, demand for natural gas is growing up. IP pipeline in this regard is highly strategic project. Completion of remaining part of the project in Pakistani territory will be highly significant in view of energy problems in Pakistan. Utilization of this project and its connection with important project of CPEC will be game changer and to bring vast economic development in Pakistan and the region. 5. Utilization of border markets potentials. In view of line border between Iran and Pakistan and due to a variety of products, establishment of border markets can play a major role in economic and trade development of the two countries. 6. Gwadar and Chabahar ports. Officials of the two countries rightly call Gwadar and Chabahar ports complementary to each other rather than being competitive. Establishment of rail network between Gwadar and Chabahar and its link up to Europe and Central Asia through Iran will usher major economic development in the region. On the other hand, construction of railway track on Pakistani territory to China, linking the two ports, will lead towards economic development in this region. 7. Political cooperation of Iran and Pakistan in solving of regional irritants. Iran and Pakistan, the two neighboring countries, have an important role in addressing regional issues through their close cooperation, especially in bringing durable peace and stability in Afghanistan. Iran and Pakistan, as two important and effective countries, and their geopolitical importance in the region, long friendship and common interests, should strive further with a strong resolve for enhancing of bilateral cooperation. Undoubtedly, cooperation between two countries will further the interests of the Islamic world. Long live Pakistan-Iran friendship.
Director General ISSI, Ambassador
the Indian agents like Kulbhushan.
در مورد چابهار یا هر طرح منطقه‌ای دیگه جمهوری اسلامی ایران نشون داده در طول 40 سال گذشته. در مورد پروژه چابهار یا هر پروژه منطقه دیگر جمهوری اسلامی ایران در طول 40 سال گذشته دیگر نشون داده که هیچ طرح منطقه‌ای و بین المللی خودش رو اختصاص به یک کشور خاص نمی‌کنه.
Regarding the Chabahar project and the other regional projects, Islamic Republic of Iran has shown since 40 years that the Islamic Republic of Iran is not limited to one country in its regional projects.
در مورد پروژه چابهار هم ما همه کشورها به ویژه کشورهای همسایه رو دعوت به مشارکت و همکاری کردیم.
Regarding the Chabhar project, we have invited all the regional countries to participate in this project.
حضور کشور هندوستان هم در این پروژه حضوری نیستش که جایی رو برای دیگران تعیین کرده باشه.
The participation of India in this project is not a type of project which can limit the participation of the other countries.
یعنی عرض کردم ایران چنین اجازه‌ای رو نمیده و همه کشورهای منطقه از جمله خود چین، روسیه، پاکستان، دیگر کشورها رو هم دعوت کرده برای اینکه اعتقاد داره توسعه بندر چاهبهار و توسعه بندر گوادر و طرح‌های مشترک منطقه‌ای می‌تواند به تثبیت امنیت و ثبات کشورهای همسایه کمک کند.
Iran cannot allow any country to utilize this project for its own targets, and Iran has offered to the other countries, including to Russia, China, and Pakistan, to invest and participate in the project. That would be a source of stability and development in the region. Republic of Iran to this agreement, and in all the deeds it was confirmed that Islamic Republic of Iran is 100% respecting the JCPO.
کلیه کشورهای اروپایی و نماینده اتحادیه اروپا هم بارها تأکید کردند بر این موضوع.
All the other parties, including the European Union parties, has also confirmed the adherence of the Islamic Republic of Iran to JCPOA.
حتی آمریکایی‌ها هم اون موقعی که عضو برجام بودن بارها تأکید کردند.
Even the Americans, when they were the part of this deal, they have confirmed the respect of the Islamic Republic of Iran to this agreement.
کاری که دولت آمریکا کرد هم خروج از برجام بود، هم تلاش برای تخریب برجام.
The effort which has been made and the step which has been taken by the Americans, that first of all was withdrawal from this agreement, and secondly to spoil this agreement.
در طول یکی دو سال گذشته اتحادیه اروپا هم هیچ موضع مشخص عملی نداشته.
And during 1.5 years back, Europeans has not taken a clear stand on this agreement.
روسیه و چین تلاش کردند که نسبت به تعهدات خودشون پایبند باشن.
Russia and China, they have tried to respect their agreements on this deal.
و ایران هنوز هم در برجام هست و اون رو محترم میشماره.
Iran still is the part of GCPO and respect this deal.
و هنوز تصمیم مشخصی در خصوص خروج از برجام نگرفته.
And we have not taken a clear decision on withdrawal from this agreement.
ولی شما میدونید که یک معاهده یا یک قرارداد چند جانبه طوری است که همه کشورهای عضو اون باید متعهد به تعهداتشون باشن.
As you know, in any multilateral agreement, all the parties should respect the deal.
و یک کشور نمیتونه تمام تعهدات خودش رو انجام بده بدون اینکه حقوق اون رو دریافت بکنه یا از منافع اون برخوردار بشه.
And one country cannot respect a deal without getting its benefits and the rights.
در خصوص موضوع میانجیگری پاکستان بین ایران و آمریکا و عربستان سعودی باید عرض بکنم در حال حاضر هیچ برنامه جمهوری اسلامی ایران برای مذاکره یا گفتگو با آمریکا نداره.
Regarding the mediation efforts of Pakistan between United States and Iran, I can say here that Islamic Republic of Iran at the moment has no plan to talk with United States.
به خاطر اینکه روشن هم هست به دلیل اینکه آمریکا الان مرتکب تروریسم اقتصادی علیه ملت ایران هست.
Because it is evident at the moment United States is committing economic terrorism against Islamic Republic of Iran.
سخت‌ترین فشارها رو بر ملت ایران داره تحمیل میکنه.
And it's imposing the strongest pressures on Iran.
تهدید کرد که مراکز متعدد فرهنگی جمهوری اسلامی ایران رو مورد هدف قرار میده.
And that country has threatened to target the cultural site of Iran.
و این یعنی یک تروریسم فرهنگی.
This is a type of the cultural terrorism.
و اخیراً هم که مرتکب یک جنایت تروریستی شد علیه شهید قاسم سلیمانی.
And recently, that country has committed a crime by assassinating Shahid Soleimani.
در JCPOA هم که یک طرف کاملا یاغی است و خارج شده از اون.
And in the GCPO, its role was spoiling, and it has withdrawn from that deal.
بنابراین هیچ زمینه‌ای الان وجود نداره.
So there is no ground of talks with that country.
اما در مورد تلاش‌های آقای نخست وزیر در خصوص میانجیگری ایران بین ایران و عربستان سعودی ما کاملا از این ابتکار عمل استقبال کردیم.
But regarding the initiative of Honorable Prime Minister of Pakistan to mediate between Iran and Saudi Arabia, we totally welcome this initiative.
ایشون 2 بار به ایران سفر کردند و با مقاماتی که دیدار کردند همه از این طرح و ابتکار استقبال کردند.
The Honorable Prime Minister has twice visited to Iran, and all the high-ranking officials of Iran has welcomed his initiative.
ما اعلام کردیم که حاضریم در تهران، در ریاض، در اسلام آباد بدون واسطه یا با واسطه با طرف سعودی بشینیم و گفتگو بکنیم.
We have announced our readiness to hold talks either in Tehran or in Riyadh or Islamabad, directly or indirectly with our Saudi counterparts.
اما به نظر میرسه پاکستان هنوز از طرف دیگه پاسخ مثبت یا سازنده‌ای دریافت نکرده.
But it seems that Pakistan has not received any positive response from the other side.
اما ما ناامید نیستیم.
But we have not lost the hope.
و به طرف پاکستانی اعلام کردیم که همچنان از این طرح شما حمایت میکنیم.
And we have announced to our Pakistani side that we still welcome this initiative.
تشکر.
Thank you.
Very, very precise answer. I think all questions were answered. General Asad Durrani, sir. General Asad Durrani, as you know, was also our ambassador once.
تخریب کننده خارجی.
Islamic Republic of Iran has always underscored on the regional cooperation without spoiling efforts by the other countries.
ببینید ما در حوزه خلیج فارس هم همین طرح حب یا طرح صلح هرمز رو که استاد بهش اشاره کردن این رو به صورت کاملا عیان مطرح کردیم و برای تمام کشورهای منطقه به صورت مستقیم یا غیر مستقیم این طرحمون رو معرفی کردیم.
As we have presented a peace initiative by name of Hope, and my esteemed dear colleague and scholar knows that this plan has been presented to invite the other countries to participate in the regional peace and stability.
به خاطر اینکه اعتقاد داریم که کشورهای همسایه هیچ راهی جز همکاری و همگرایی و حل و فصل اختلاف نظرات
Because we believe that all the regional countries and the neighboring countries have no way to solve the problems and to address the issues except to have a peaceful coexistence. Although we have not signed any MOU in this regard, but we are ready to participate in the projects.
به خاطر اینکه معتقد هستیم که این طرحی که بین چین و پاکستان هست یک طرحی است که آثار منطقه‌ای هم داره، هم در ثبات و امنیت، هم در توسعه و آبادانی.
Because we believe that this cooperation can bring the regional peace and stability and progress. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to add in response to General Durrani's comment that we may not be able to maintain our balancing act for too long. In my own personal assessment, this is the only option we have. The alternative to not playing a balancing act will not be kindly to the people of Pakistan. I think there is a when the Prime Minister of Pakistan was undertaking this diplomacy, there was a criticism that what gives you the locus standi to do that. I think that criticism I don't share. I believe that more than a message to Iran and message to Saudi Arabia, It was a clear declaration by Pakistan, an assessment shared by the Prime Minister of Pakistan, that war or any outbreak of hostilities in the region will not be good for any party.
Says, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I formally join in Bali Muhammad Ali Hussain is not new. Apart from the fact that we always maintain very close ties with the Embassy of Islamic Republic of Iran in Islamabad, exchange program with the premier institute of at this institute, when he spoke on dialogue among civilizations in December 2002. So I'm hopeful that this tradition will further intensify during your presence in Pakistan. We have already heard, about the nature of Pakistan-Iran relationship. It is really an enduring reality that apart from geography, the ties, bonds of culture, religion, faith, etc. So all tie our two countries very closely to each other. One evidence is that even our national anthem, 99% is in Persian language. But this ties between the peoples of Pakistan and Iran even dates back to before the creation of Pakistan. You see, during those days, there was earthquake in Sistan, Balochistan province of Iran, and Muslim League, All India Muslim League, had organized, relief goods for the affected people in Iran, and even Muslim League under the leadership of Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, passed a resolution asking the Soviet Union to withdraw from the territories of Iran which it had occupied at that time. So the relationship even predates the creation of Pakistan. But of course, these ties have been further deepened following the establishment of Pakistan. As has been rightly pointed out, Iran was the first country to recognize Pakistan, and Pakistan was the first country to recognize the revolution in Iran in 1979. Recently, I was going through a write-up by Brigadier Mir, who was heading the Pakistani embassy in Tehran during the time of revolution. And he very graphically describes, that after the revolution, how he was given an audience with Ayatollah Khomeini, that how warmly he was received, and that Imam Khomeini greatly appreciated the fact. He said he had in fact expected that Pakistan would be the first country to recognize this revolution, and he, was convinced that our two countries will have a very close brotherly relationship. Of course, Pakistan and Iran are, as have been rightly pointed out, not only bilaterally, but even in the multilateral context with RCT, ECO, D8, OIC, NAM, so many other international organizations where we very closely cooperate with each other. Having said that, of course, there have been some difficult phases in our bilateral relations also. You see, for example, when I was ambassador to Iran in 94 to 97, that was the time when the developments in Afghanistan had pitted our two countries against each other. And there were some, the sectarian clashes in Pakistan. So the environment was not good. And I think between any other two countries, the relations could have been ruptured. But I think it speaks of the resilience and the innate brotherhood feeling between our two countries and peoples, that even those times, the relationship remained intact. See, I recall that during that time I was received by President Rafsanjani, and he said, Mr. Ambassador, what we are fighting over in Afghanistan, it is an arid land. Our relationship is more fundamental. And he was confident that this relationship will survive and further prosper. And how prophetic he was, that, as I said, despite all these difficulties in our irritants between our two countries, the relationship has survived, and it augurs well for the future as well. See, political relationship, yes, have been always well managed. But I think there is a deficiency lies in the lack of robust economic and commercial ties. We are neighboring countries, no problems, no disputes, and still we have not been able to, increase our trade to the extent, the potential which it has. Few years back, I think 2016, when President Rouhani came here, we agreed to a target of $5 billion of bilateral trade. But I think still we are very far from achieving that target. Then pipeline, of course, it is our need, but still, for one reason or another, of course, U.S. sanction being the primary one, the project has not moved forward. So I think we have to find ways and means. Not even banking channels are there between our two countries. So we have to, both sides have to put their minds together to find ways and means how to overcome these these realities, and to maximize our mutual beneficial relationship. Much has been said about Chabahar and this Gwadar. I also think that they are complementary to each other, and rightly has been described as sister ports. But Mumbai, just declaration is not enough. Possible concrete areas of complementarity and interoperability have to be identified, and then we have to work on those. Meanwhile, of course, cooperation within the context of ECO also needs to be enhanced. Before concluding, I would just like to say that we greatly value the support which Dharavar has from time to time extended to the cause of the Kashmiri people. But we would expect from brotherly countries that this reiteration of support should be more frequent, sustained, and very categorical. After being here, I think you must be aware about the sentiments of Pakistani nation on this vital issues. I was very happy to read that one poll carried out which said that 76% of Pakistanis have favorable view of Iran. And Pakistan is the most pro-Iran nation in the world. So indeed, Pakistan-Iran friendship is very precious relationship. We value it, we should guard it, and further build upon it. This is the requirement of the day. This is the demand of our tested friendship. It reflects the aspirations of the peoples of the two countries. Thank you.